Hey everybody, I'm Asaf Avidan and you're on Le Mensuel.
I'm wide asleep and I can feel.
The new album, it has to be said, is very heavily influenced by a lot of 40s cinema. Not just the music, which is very influenced by a specific composer called Bernard Herrmann, which did all the music for the Hitchcock films. And the Hitchcock films were a very big influence, but that influence seeped in to the graphics of the album. It's almost like a tribute to Vertigo by Hitchcock. It seeped into the stage. If anybody will see the show tomorrow, the stage is almost staged like a theater piece that looks a bit like a salon of like a 40s kind of actor or character in a movie. The light is a bit more theatrical and cinematic. And the videos were, of course, done in order to portray this thing that... The reason I am quoting Hitchcock a lot, because Hitchcock or David Lynch or a lot of these artists, cinematic artists, they investigate the line between the conscious and the subconscious, the real and the dream. And you never really know which one is which, and they mix together. And that's the experience I was trying to investigate with Unfurl. And so the videos are me in my own very restricted way trying to give kind of a voice to that.
All of my life I have lived with one rule to help me survive. All of my life I have lived with one rule to help me survive. I will not die, no, I will not die while I'm still alive.
I'm not trying to go towards acting, but I can say that I was very intrigued by a lot of these 40s and 50s kind of, you know, if you look at the French chansonniers, if you look at the Edith Piaf, if you look at Charles Aznavour, there's a beautiful video of La Bohème where he has a napkin the entire video. He's performing live and he's holding a napkin. And I looked at that and I thought, just the performance, forget his voice, which is obviously amazing and everything, but he plays da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-da, and he acts. And it's not just the theatrics that help the audience, it helps him get into a character that delivers the lines and delivers the emotional gravitas, which I really loved, or like Frank Sinatra or like Mel Torme. And so I was really actively influenced by a lot of these very theatrical performers, all the time knowing that I'm not looking to be an actor. I'm not looking to pretend to have emotions. I'm trying to find a mask that will fit these kinds of emotions that I want to portray. But the richness of the experience was that of many, many, many different masks. And so you can hear a lot of genres and a lot of characters within the album kind of all trying to get a voice. And that was the interesting thing about it. And the cliche of the cliche of the cliche is that the mask sometimes shows the most true persona of the person, because it allows you to actually let go of the metaphorical masks that you wear on the everyday and be somebody that you feel.
Look at that, what did that, look at that, look at that, what did that, look at that, look at that, what did that, look at that, it laugh and go just like that, look at that, what did that, look at that, it laugh and go just like that, look at that, what did that, look at that, can't do nothing but that, it like that. Honey, come take me, this current is breaking, somebody wet me, my mind is forsaking me, I know it sounds crazy, I know it sounds crazy, I do.
For sure, something changes. But I think for me, if you ask me personally, I think the intention was always there. The aim was, the compass always led me to one place, ever since my first EP and then my albums. But just like I said, every layer is an archaeological layer. I don't think you can dig too deep down. I think then you find yourself falling to an abyss, which is dangerous. I think you need to excavate and investigate each layer. And so, you know, the first album is, she hurt me, you know, and then the second album is, did she hurt me? Or was I, you know, like maybe it's something within me. Maybe it was my whatever. You start investigating these emotions and not just stay superficial. And then you ask why. And then, okay, maybe because I'm afraid. Why? Well, because, you know, and you get to, if you ask that enough times, is my point, you get to so the introspection is always there. You're looking into yourself. But you grow older, you have more experiences, you have less care of the fictitious narrative of self that you present to others. I mean, in your 20s, you're very careful and you're very specific about who you think you are. And I think in your 40s, you start understanding that nothing is really crystallized, nothing is real, everything is changing and moving. And so if you ask me if I would have written this album 10 years ago, I wouldn't have written the same album 2 days ago. You know, like if I wrote it in a different time, even an hour later, if you're honest, something constantly changes. And all you can do is grasp at a river, and you take the water and you say, this is the river, but it's just the water that you happen to have in that specific day.
Now I go where winters go before the final spring, and I will play the weaver song upon this broken string. And don't you cry, I'll be my love, just as long as I can say.
Brad Pitt came to a concert of mine. I didn't know he knows my music. He came to Paris to a show I did a couple of years ago. And we met backstage. He came to congratulate me. And we started talking. And we realized that my house is about 3 hours from his very famous Miraval estate. And he said, you should come to record. And I said, I don't have songs because I was in a writer's block. And I didn't write for like 4 years. I was trying. And he said, come, maybe you will be inspired. And I said, sure, Brad Pitt. You hear Hollywood talk. It mainly means fuck off. But it's true. But then the next day we received a mail from his assistant saying they really are inviting us to come there. And we came and we fell in love with the place, me and Kati, my partner. And then I returned there a couple of weeks later, just me, a guitar. They put me in a villa in the middle of nowhere, like in the property. It was very like cinematic. It was like a Kurosawa film. There was rain all the time in the windows. And I was cocooned in this place. And after 4 years of trying to write songs and not be able to, in a week, I wrote the first 3 songs of the album there. So I don't know why, but that's where it happened. And then it was obvious that I want to record there as well. And they were very nice because it's a 20-star kind of hospitality / recording studio. It's gorgeous and it's high tech and it's amazing, and really the biggest names record there. And I'm successful, but I'm an alternative artist. I'm not like a pop artist. I don't have that kind of money. But they really went out of their way to accommodate the fact that we can record there, even if we, they made an effort for us to be able to record there, which I really thank them for. It's really not taken for granted. And the experience of recording there is really something unique. Like, they treat you in a way that you don't need to worry about anything except art for the entire experience. The food, the hospitality, the recording, the technicians, everybody there. It really made all of us, the musicians and everything. We recorded a full orchestra and we recorded it was worth it. I mean, I wanted to have a live, rich, human sound. And I don't think you can get that with computers.
I'm still a body, just a body, and I'm just like everybody. I'm a flesh and bone embodied sense of self that needs a body. Recognize itself through all the pattern shapes that go around it, but there's never anybody. It's just me, there is nobody, and I'm blind, but I still find it. All these shapes that help define me through the fog that help my mind. Yes, I scream with all my fine. I got to stare into a universe that don't care. It just echo of my own soul, and I can't go or just let go of it. My imminent death is a weight on my chest, yo. My breath is congesting with all of this self-flow. I can't breathe, but I'm still spitting, and I don't believe, but I'm still spitting, and I can't leave, so I'm still spitting, and I can't breathe, but I'm still spitting.
As I get older, the wish to collaborate becomes bigger. And also the skills to collaborate become better, I hope. I'm not like an asshole kind of musician with a big ego, but I do have a very precise vision usually. And I still did. This album, I had very elaborate demos that, with all the instrumentation and everything already planned. But it was important for me to collaborate with people, both the orchestrator and my co-producer for this album and the musicians. This is the biggest present, the biggest gift of getting older, is that I learned to be less sorry for my French, up my own ass. Like I really want to get inspired by other people, which is interesting. And that's the human endeavor of collective art, and that's what we try to achieve. Touring musicians is usually very different than studio musicians, but I'm lucky that some of them know or have worked with me in the studio before and know me. I try to create long-term relationships with my musicians. At the end of the day, you're 2 hours on the stage with them every night, but you're also 22 other hours with them. So it becomes a family. So it needs to be good. I'm very happy with the 4 musicians that share the stage with me now. They're insanely talented. They're multi-instrumentalists. So that's how we kind of get a full orchestra to translate to a band tour. And also they're just very pleasant people, which is nice. Pour la prochaine interview, nous ferons en français. Peut-être.